Barbie dolls that were usually used to represent of what it's like to be an adult. In Mexico, they have these dolls called the Lupita Dolls, and they were used in interesting ways that I myself wasn't aware of until now. I was lucky enough to work at a Mexican restaurant where they have a mini museum of artifacts from Mexico. When I laid my eyes on this beautiful doll, I was intrigued by the history behind it. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have owned some kind of doll or some kind of toy before. Did the doll or toy that you owned represent a particular role? These dolls sure did. I chose this artifact because I relate to the fact that I used to own dolls when I was a little girl. And owning dolls when I was a little girl played a huge part in my life because they expanded my imagination and made me the creative person I am today. With this artifact, I am going to be teaching you guys the history and the use of them. During the early independence period, poor families created these dolls to replicate the Brazilian dolls from Spain. One of the uses that these dolls were used for were affairs. Affairs? Yeah, affairs. So, according to what I've read, if a woman felt that her husband was cheating, she would buy one of these beautiful dolls and she would write the name of the mistress that she thought was cheating, you know, with her husband. And she would write the name and just leave the doll in the corner to let her husband know that she was aware that he was having an affair. Another interesting use that I myself didn't expect that these dolls were used for was that they were used for advertisement, for advertising brothels in Mexico City. With each doll representing a prostitute, they would place them on windows and that would indicate that a woman was available. Eventually, as time went by, they lost popularity, but they became known as works of art. I relate to the fact that I used to own dolls when I was a little girl, and I feel like having a doll is like having a friend that would never leave your side. And you know, the fact that these dolls were used to tell husband that, you know, the women were aware that he was cheating is like having your doll friend basically sticking up for you. As I mentioned before, owning a doll expanded my imagination and made me the creative person I am today. So the way that these dolls were used, I think, were definitely used in creative ways that I myself wasn't expecting. In conclusion, as you can see, these dolls played an important role in people's lives in Mexico City. If you're Mexican, I'm pretty sure that your family members will most likely recognize these dolls. I definitely encourage you guys to ask your family members, you know, like what kind of stories they grew up with these dolls. And yeah, thank you.